I thought that was a fun way to start this series of videos that I've got coming up. I saw Casey Neistat do that kind of entrance to one of his videos and I thought it looked so cool that I wanted to have a go at doing it myself. Anyway, entrances aside, what I'm actually here to tell you all today is, but let me get a little bit closer first. On my channel, I have discussed in the past that I don't really like the term frugal minimalism. I therefore really don't like the term extreme frugal minimalism. However, I think it's fair to say that a lot of us are perhaps not as affluent financially as perhaps we once was before 2020, 2022, and many of us may have had some setbacks there. So what I am going to be doing for the month of August is really focusing some of my videos more around frugality and frugal minimalism. Now, they're going to take different tacks and different roles. We're still going to talk about minimalism, but really what I am hoping to do throughout August, which I'm calling the August audit, is I am going to be auditing my life in every single way. Not just financially, although that is going to be a big impetus. It's going to be there, some section in every video that I intend to do, which for the most part, I hope is going to be nearly every day. Now, it's not going to be a set series that you necessarily have to follow in order every day, but it perhaps might make more sense if you do. However, I am not going to number them like I have in the past. I am simply going to create a playlist that will be ordered in that row and people can watch the playlist if they want or just join us on the videos they are interested in. But they're not even going to follow a set style because I want to use these 31 days to really experiment with styles. So some days it may be just a talkie, some days it may be playing around a lot, some days it might even be styled like a vlog where we go about and talk about, you know, spending and things and my typical day with a bit of the financial element thrown in. So it's worth, even if you watch one of them and you don't particularly like that style one day, still tuning in another day because the style may be changed up. Now, in my August audit, in my August audit where I will be auditing myself, we're going to look at some key areas of my life that I think from time to time we could all do with auditing. There may be an area of our life that isn't as good as we would like it to be, and sometimes we need to reevaluate those things. Now, number one on my list is physical things. Now, I lead an active lifestyle. You could say I'm pretty physically fit anyway. I do a bit of light exercise. However, I would like to up that a little bit. Now, I'm not ever going to become an exercise channel. I'm not going to start exercising in all my videos either, but it's just, I'm obviously showing you the list of where I want to audit my life. I also know that I don't quite get as much water as I think I should perhaps intake, and I think I convinced myself that because I have a lot of herbal tea, that's as good, but I also think it's good to have a little bit of pure water, and I don't think that I do, so that's another area that I'd like to audit my life, which might become a recurrent thing, perhaps a little segment of each video, and you're probably wondering why, but you'll see. We'll close each video with the thing that I'm about to do for that. The next is mental. We're going to focus a little bit more on mind, on mental clarity and minimalism, and how I keep my mind clear. I did cover that a little bit in perhaps the morning routine and the evening routine, but I think every now and then within our life, even though we can have a set routine, sometimes we let things slip, and every now and then I need to reevaluate with myself a little bit and say, you need to be more strict with this. For instance, I don't know whether you can read perhaps my writing on there. I write very quickly and scruffily like shorthand, but I can understand my own writing, so that's what matters. is I need to be more strict about my offline time, especially if I'm wanting to perhaps do daily vlogging for a while, especially when I start my second channel, because even though I don't have much of an Instagram following, I do like to post something each day. I think as you start to become more and more involved in the online world, it's important to set strict boundaries about when you will have offline time. For instance, I'm going to set myself the strict boundary of turning my notifications off on every app and being very strict about when I reply to notifications and emails, and not just be sporadically answering them all day, and to set myself a time on the evening where I completely turn my phone off. Now, you could say that the mental and the digital can overlap a little bit these days, because the digital stuff and the constant notifications can take up a lot of mental space. But I'm also talking about digital clutter. Recently, I don't know whether some of you do watch my Instagram stories, but I actually recently decided to start backing up some of my work, which is something I haven't done in the past, and that is to keep my laptop essentially empty so that it can run as smoothly as possible. Also to protect myself a little bit security wise, have backups for if I occasionally need it for certain videos or in the future. And it helps just keep a cleared out space, because when you are deciding what to copy across, obviously, to hardware, you're then forced to think about what you really want to keep. So being strict about that, and being strict about my routine with my digital stuff. For instance, when I use my camera, charging it every time after use, putting it away, because then it just makes your day, when you're going to be daily vlogging, run more smoothly. Now, the biggie that we are definitely going to be focusing on, because obviously it is called the August audit, is financial. I am going to be sharing financial tips, hacks, tricks, things that I do. Some people have even asked about to do with food, you know, what I do there to be sort of frugal as well. I'm going to be attempting over the next 31 days to share how I live and what I do as a frugal minimalist, but also as a general, mindful, intentional minimalist. It's not going to be solely focused on frugality, but there are going to be remnants of that in it, as well as generic minimalism. So hopefully you will all be interested in seeing that. And as you can see that I've written on this list but crossed through it, because I think we've got that covered after recent videos. Obviously part of auditing your life, if you're perhaps at the beginning of this journey, is in your home as well. It's hard to focus on anything if your home is looking cluttered. So once you've got that in the bag, you can focus on the other 4 things. So every morning I have to try and make myself drink more water. So as this is an introductory video for auditing my life and what I'm going to be doing, we'll keep it short and sweet today, but we are going to start off with one of the main things that I am terrible for, because I love my tea and I love my coffee, and therefore I really struggle to get my water allowance in. We're going to play a game every day to make sure I get that extra bit of water in, because it's the only way I can sort of make myself do it. I'll be right back. It is just under 60 millilitres, under 1 pint. My record for drinking this is 18 seconds, and in the 31 days I'm going to do this in every video, and we're just going to see whether I can ever beat the 18 seconds. And I thought we could all play a funny little game at the beginning, so no cheating. You can all guess the amount of time that you think it is going to take me, and it all really does depend on how thirsty I am and how much out of breath I am and how hot I am, because if I need to take in more oxygen, I really can't drink it that fast. But I thought it was a funny little thing that we can do in each video. So I'm going to down this. We'll start the clock from when I take my first gulp. Let me get my breaths in. Oh, nearly I need a breather. I obviously don't know what that is. We will know once I've stopped the timer. But that's what I'm going to do in every video. So for those of you who are regular viewers, etc., subscribers, I am going to attempt to do every day in August. I don't want to put that kind of pressure on myself. So if sometimes, you know, it's the middle of summer, things get a bit hectic, I may occasionally do a YouTube short instead of a long form YouTube video, but we are for the most part going to try and do a long form video every day of varying lengths, but probably somewhere between 5 and 15 minutes every single day, and like I said in the beginning, of all different styles. And a part of the reason that I'm doing this is really because I want to get used to the routine, not just experiment, but get used to having that daily routine of doing daily vlogs for here, but also for the second channel that will be starting around autumn time, and it might give you a little bit of a taster of what the other channel will be about. It's not going to be about frugality, but in terms of experimenting with different styles, to show that I'm not just a one-trick pony that wants to just do solely minimalist videos all the time. I do enjoy the artsy side of creating videos, whatever the content may be, and that will give me just a tiny little bit to maneuver that here for you guys as well. So I hope you've enjoyed today's video. I'm gonna get to editing this one. I very well may want to play around with this one a little bit. See you all tomorrow. Bye. Minimalist. It's not going to be solely, but it's not going to be solely in August. But I don't want to put that kind of. But I don't want to put.